What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of 27 and Q alongside that man right there, number 27, an all-time great from the New York Football Giants, running back Brandon Jacobs. I'm Rich Quinones. Hope everyone had a good sports weekend. You are enjoying your Tuesday. A lot of stuff to dive into, big man. And the breaking news we have on the show right now. I just got a call from the New York Giants. Dable's not working out. They don't want to call you. They called me. I've been offered a head coaching position with zero experience in the NFL. But knowing the sport and covering the league, I think I might take them up for it. Big man, how are you?
I'm doing absolutely phenomenal. Rich, since everybody else is getting jobs with zero experience, shit, why can't you?
Hey, listen, let's do our opening drive with that right now. We'll get into the Giants off the bye, the McKinney injury, talk a little college football. Top four reslated tonight about 45 minutes or so ago, but Jeff Saturday. So great center with the Colts, won a Super Bowl, knows that organization. We knew the Colts were in trouble a little bit after the Ryan debacle. Frank Reich was fired. So kind of the first chopping block, if you will, in the NFL. And then out of the blue, one of those hires where you're like, what are you doing? The Colts announced, Jim Irsay announced that Jeff Saturday, who, if you watch any of the shows on the mothership on ESPN, he's doing TV on a Monday and he gets hired by the Indianapolis Colts with zero college coaching and or pro coaching experience. I mean, where do we begin with this?
I mean, Jeff Saturday, a great center, for the Indianapolis Colts, who was a part of some great football teams, great dynasty. If you ask me, went to the AFC Championship game a number of times, the Super Bowl as well.
Sure.
I mean, as a player, it doesn't get too much better than him at the position, other than my guy, Sean O'Hara, I got to say that. But anyway, his head coaching debacle was just absurd. I mean, not saying the man doesn't know what he's doing, but 3-4 years ago, he was coaching at Hebron Christian School, which is right here in Georgia. It's a single A private school. Now that I think that like 2 years or 3 years, something like that now. But that's where he was coaching. He left there to go to, I think, ESPN. And after being on ESPN a couple of years, he gets this job offer. And is Jim Irsay, like, is he okay? I mean, is all his marbles there? Like, the guy had been losing it, over the last few years. So I think he's really lost it. I think all the marbles is gone and, and dumped somewhere else.
Why do you, I mean, first of all right, and this is nothing personal against Jeff Saturday. By all accounts, seems like he's a really good guy and he was a hell of a
absolutely.
This is more about, and I equate it to the Giants literally calling me and saying, do you want to be a head coach? Sure, let me take the media hat off and let me sit there on the sidelines. I mean, it's not going to work. So you've got a situation where they got rid of the OC. They fired Frank Reich, who will probably land on his feet. They can't play Matt Ryan anymore because they realize if he gets hurt, there's going to be money owed with an injury settlement. So that's a cluster. Organization, that franchise has never been the same since Andrew Luck retired. I mean, they've gone through how many different quarterbacks, including Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, and now Matt Ryan. So I get the firing of Frank Reich. I understand that. You hate to see it, but I understand it. But then to turn around and hire someone who's basically been on the tube just because he was a very good player with you and had great success, you've got assistants, you've got people within that organization. And I'm not even talking even minority coaches out there in the NFL, white, black, yellow, green, with 20, 30 years of experience that are probably sitting at home or within the organization, the Colts right now saying, what the hell? Like, how do you, I mean, I can't even quantify that. I don't even know what to equate it to. And I can see what's going to happen. It's going to be a couple games and he's going to be like, this isn't for me. Like, you're talking about guys and you can speak to this, in the organization that have been with these players for the last September, October, for the last 5-6 months, and you're getting a guy basically off the street to walk in and try to motivate them, talk X's and O's. I mean,
It's not going to work. I mean, and I hope it does. For Jeff's sake, I really hope it does. You know, everybody deserves to have a leader. Yeah, it's worth something, and a leader that actually care. But how could you care about a bunch of guys you don't know? Like you don't, it's hard. You didn't go through OTAs, you didn't go through mini camp, you haven't watched them work out. I mean, it's hard to get in to bring in. I mean, you got to go with an interim coach. That's why you bring, that's why you take an assistant or coordinator and
right.
make him your interim head coach if someone's get fired like during the season, because they have relationships with those players, those guys. They know Jeff Saturday as the center for the Indianapolis Colts, all-time great center as, Colts, and quite frankly, maybe a Hall of Famer, centers
Resume
concerned.
credentials. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
He don't know or have any kind of relationship with a lot of the guys on the team. So it's gonna be interesting to see the way that goes.
But what does it say though when an owner's thinking like that? And that owner inherited that team. Bill Polian, they draft Peyton, they have the success. Ursay basically, it's handed down. It's not like he really earned that per se because it was all those years with his father. They're gonna have Parks Frazier, who I guess was a passing game. I mean, you tell me, what is his title? A passing game specialist and then assistant quarterback coach. He'll probably do some of the play calling. So just to let the viewers out there know, when you think about this, how it affects even like the betting line, because they're going to go with that other kid under center, that young kid. So you've got a situation right now where the Raiders are 2-6. The Colts are 3-5-1, and the Raiders just blew another 17-point lead, and yet they're laying almost 7 at home to the Colts. And this is, I believe, directly equated to the fact that Jeff Saturday is going to have to learn X's and O's in 4 days. I mean, if you're in that locker room, how do you take that?
I mean, I'm going to say this, Rich. When you say X's and O's,
Yeah.
every NFL team has the same shit. Okay. Jeff Saturday had the same shit when he played with the Colts. Okay, I had the same shit when I played with the Giants. X's and O's why.
Okay.
I don't think it's the X's and O's about head coaches that matters. I think it's more about relationships more than anything. How do you see the person that's going out for battle for you every week?
Okay.
X's and O's going to be X's and O's. I think Jeff knows his X's and O's as a center, as the quarterback of the offensive line. I think he knows that part. I'm not going to question that part of him because I know for a fact he knows his X's and O's. He got that down pat, but I'm just saying more of a relationship.
Yeah.
Does he even know the name of all of his starters? Does he even know does he even know anything about these guys? He doesn't know anything about these guys.
Yeah.
He's just out. He's literally there learning these guys' names right now as we speak.
How much does the head coach really control everything within an organization? Meaning like the responsibility. And again, I'm not talking, as you just said, X's and O's, the play, but from, part of the draft process to game day to during the week to knowing the players and the backgrounds and the check marks and the red flags and knowing people within the organization and having the right people, the coaching staff, maybe the secretary, the traveling secretary, the PR person. Like how much? I mean, it seems there's a substantial amount on their plate.
Well, it's the administrative stuff of it that you have to do with the head coaching has to do with the media and the draft and all of this stuff. Football wise, he give his opinion more than anything, right? So let's say we come into a game and we need to run the ball. Coach Coughlin's gonna go tell Coach Kevin Gilbride, like, hey, these guys gave up 175 yards on the ground last week. Let's make sure we're a little bit more run heavy this week than we are pass. Cool. You don't tell Coach Gilbride what to call or when to call it. He just said, okay, in the past, history shows that these guys are weak against the run, and this is what they've been doing. So let's kind of go, kind of 60-40 with it, and see if we can, make some hay. If it doesn't work, then, if they finally buckle down against the run, then we can go to the air, we can get Plaxico Burress involved and get, these guys involved and make things happen and let Eli sling it around a little bit if that's not the case. But this is what I see, go into the defensive room. You're talking, hey, this quarterback has small hands. You got to get after his ass. You got to keep him running. You got to pressure him. He has small hands. He won't be able to hold on to the ball. He's going to put it on the ground for you. Make sure we come up with the football. We need to be +2, +3 in the turnover differential. We need to be able to do this. I see they have trouble picking up the blitz. So let's make sure on certain down and distance, second and third down, we got some stuff dialed up. You don't tell them what to dial up. They just dial up something in that area that needs to fit what Coach Coughlin is thinking in his mind. Other than that, it's more schedule, what time you need to be there, what time this meeting starts, what time you're on the field, what time you're off the field, what time you're in this meeting or that meeting. That's more head coach stuff or what they do, right? It barely have anything to do with the X's and O's for real. You look at the weaknesses of the team and what they bring, and look at offensive coach, what they do, defensive coach, what they do. Hey, this team gave up a punt return last week, so let's not try to, if you got some room, let's try to bring it down and see if we can get a return and see if we can take one to the house. They give up a lot of yards. The average punt return yards that they give up is 17 yards average. I said, well, shit, that's piss poor. So we might better actually take one back to the house. I mean, 17 yards on a punt return is a lot on average. So it's stuff like that more head coaches, do. So Jeff may do well in that, given the fact that that's what it is that I've seen the great Coach Coughlin do as a coach. I've seen him do that like that. So that's more what I get from him, right? Will the Indianapolis Colts or Jeff do it like that? Is Jeff going to want to have his hand in everything? I went over to San Francisco 49ers and no one else had any control but Jim, right? Telling them what to call, telling the quarterback who to throw the ball to, all of that stuff. So it's different, but a true head coach is a Tom Coughlin who lets his guys do what they need to do, and he just gives them information on what needs to be done on as far as what their weaknesses is, what our strengths can be, blah, 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 right?
But having the trust in the coordinators to go by that information to call the right plays at the right moment. But you're asking a guy who basically is coming, cold off the street, so to speak, get ready for a game in a couple of days. Like the sustainability, I just still, for the life of me, why wouldn't you just stick with an interim head coach or, I'm sorry, someone within the organization and just slap the tag on him who's familiar with these players and their tendencies, who's already been through the NFL rigors over the last 7, 8, 9 weeks, understands what the scheduling is like and the minutia, the day-to-day, because they're around there, or they were around Frank Reich. That, to me, this move reeks of just, I don't know. Like, I liked him as a player. Let me hire him.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a leader on the team, but, and I'm going to go and say this, like Mike Vrabel as well. He got opportunity out of nowhere. He asked me, he's doing well in Tennessee, but, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I've have yet to see somebody be successful like that. I mean, other than, Vrabel, but, again, he got a really good football team on his hand.
But how does it also look if you're the Colts and Irsay does this and you didn't even? It's almost as though you've jumped over other people, and then what's going to happen too is then you have to bring in the fact of, well, wait a second, what about the Rooney Rule? What about looking at some minorities, or what about looking at guys that have been out there for 20 something? I'm just saying
that's never going to happen, Rich.
Well, why not? I mean, that's
why I don't know. I don't know if they don't think African Americans or a minority coach can be leaders like that, but they don't get the same opportunity, that a Jeff Saturday gets. They don't get the same opportunity a Mike Vrabel gets. Like, so they don't get those opportunities. We don't get those opportunities, should I say?
Why do you think a guy like Eric Bieniemy hasn't gotten a head coaching job?
I don't think Eric wants a head coaching job because he don't have a Patrick Mahomes everywhere else. I don't think he really want to get out of KC like that. I think he only went to one interview for one team, and I think that was it. And people took that he wanted to be a head coach. He had an interview for a job in almost 2 years. He only have one Patrick Mahomes, and that's it. I don't blame him. I'm going to stay where I know I got a sure quarterback that can make some plays. As an offensive coordinator, his job is safe. When like when you become a head coach, your job isn't so safe anymore. A coordinator got a chance to stand longer than the head coach, just like this. The Colts.
Yeah.
They're gonna fire the head coach, and the coordinator is still gonna be there. The only team I've seen really fire an offensive coordinator during the season is the New York Giants.
Yeah.
This was in 2006 or 5, like one of the years, or maybe 6 or 5. They fired Huffnagel and brought in and moved the quarterback coach Kevin Gilbride up to offensive coordinator. It was the best move for the organization.
Yeah, yeah. Is it possible that Bieniemy doesn't interview well, or
I don't think he's trying to get a head coaching job, Rich.
Okay, fair enough.
I really truly believe that because he don't have a Patrick Mahomes everywhere.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you bring up, because I look at Daboll, right? Daboll turns around, he's with Josh Allen, and now they're trying to think, let's make Daniel Jones Josh Allen 2.0. Well, he took the job knowing it's a marquee job in the NFL, the New York Giants, right? And maybe I can groom this guy to kind of be like Josh Allen. Might never happen, but to your point, with Bieniemy, he's in a good spot. They can consistently win. He's got Mahomes, who's arguably top 2-3 quarterback right now in the NFL. They don't want to run the ball. We found that out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't get it. Monday night, right? You're slinging it 60 something. By the way, you almost had a great call on the Titans. You said they were going to
I did,
and they were going to win out. Yeah. Well, to me, Mahomes pretty much solidified first half MVP with that scramble on a 3rd and forever. But to your point, I just think the NFL, and again, this is just a fan speaking, I'm taking a step back. We talked last week about you don't really need coaching in the NBA, so to speak. The 2-3 players, they kind of run the show. In the NFL, you have to have a semblance of coaching. And to your point before, and I want to kind of dive into this a little more, you mentioned Harbaugh in San Francisco. That's a personality of a control freak. I think Coughlin realized after a while, I got good people around me, so I entrusted them to make the right decision, so to speak. And of course, it turns into 2 Super Bowls. But the situation with the Colts is they're also void of talent, man. Like that's another thing that I think is already a hill for him to climb. And the funny thing that's going to happen is if they, by some miracle, win a couple games, people are actually going to sit there and say he's going to be the long-term answer. And quite frankly, I still believe you have to do your due diligence, and you have to look at some of these guys that have been through the trenches in the NFL coaching carousel tree for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, and you got to give them a fair shake. And as you said, you don't see it happening. And the way this kind of all fell into place, I don't think it's going to happen either.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. It's going to be hard for guys to go out and play for a guy that don't know that.
Yeah. Wow.
It's going to be really hard. That's why you do all of the OTAs and mini camp. That's why you do that, man. You do that to get to know, like, especially when you got a new coach. I mean, you start early. Like, you guys go in before they need to be there, meet the coach and learn what he's about. You learn what they're about. That's it. But bringing a guy in like this is no knock on Jeff, by the way. It's more of a knock on the organization of the Indianapolis Colts over, more than anything.
I agree. And if you're a fan base, if you're fans of that organization, I remember, I think Dan Marino was VP of football operations for Miami. And I think after like a couple weeks, he's like, nah, you know what? This ain't for me, man. This just ain't for me. Did you like that one season in San Francisco with Harbaugh?
It was cool. It was really cool. Weather was great. The team was really good. But I just, things didn't go as planned. I got hurt in the preseason and probably shouldn't have played that season. But with that being said, I should have been on IR and not being told one thing and actually another thing happened. But the weather was cool.
IR was different though back then, right?
Yeah, I got hurt in the preseason and probably shouldn't have came back. I probably shouldn't have played. I went out practice every day. It just ended up being a whole just messy mess, man. But anyway, I really enjoyed my time out there, and it was cool.
So just one more on that, and I won't dig too much, even though I like to dig because you're an open book. What was that? A 1-year deal?
It was a 1-year deal. I got a 1-year deal out there. It was worth a good bit of bucks, and I took it. I wanted to go somewhere different. I got that. I went there, and I didn't regret it immediately, but when I got hurt, things got kind of shaky, and tried to get traded back to the Giants, but no one would do it, because Ahmad got hurt that year.
That's right.
Right as they get ready to go down to Atlanta the Monday night to play, Ahmad goes down. I think Andre Brown gets hurt. They really don't have a running back now, so I'm trying to see if I can reach out to my agent. I reached out to my agent and see, man, just see if San Fran will trade me back. Is an automatic plug-in. Same system. I'll go right down there, fly there on the Thursday, fly out with the team on a Saturday, start the game in Atlanta on a Monday, and here I'm back home. But it didn't work out that way, obviously.
How would that have worked with how would that have worked with your contract? If you back then, if you're placed on the IR and you have a 1-year deal, is it a prove-it deal? Is there money up front? Is it guaranteed?
Yeah, it's guaranteed for veterans, for a guy that had been there longer than I had been in. My contract was guaranteed.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. As long as I was on a roster week 1.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure the Giants would have been wanting to take over the contract that I was offered, because they tried to get me to take a cut in the beginning.
That's right.
So I ended up going in there making more than what they were willing to pay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that trade would have worked out, because then they would have to take that. But shit, you got 2 running backs down, so now I'm all you got.
Right.
So
yeah.
But it didn't work out though.
Yeah. No, I followed that year when you were there, and again, just from afar, I was like, I don't think he's happy there, man. I think
I wasn't happy about when I realized what was happening and what I was told and what actually happened. That's when the unhappiness came. But everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad I had a chance to go over that and experience playing for them. And if I had to go back and do it again, 10 times out of 10, I would not do it.
Midway point, 27 in Q. Brandon Jacobs, Rich Quinones. So you mentioned, you were banged up. Giants coming off their bye. I always think of 2007. Dallas Cowboys went to Cabo before that playoff game where, I don't know, that I think that scoreboard screen is still echoing down there in Dallas after you fired that football. But so the Giants just had their bye. Xavier McKinney, captain, defensive captain, starting safety, really good looking player, 3rd year with him. Out of the blue, we find out hurts his hand, right? Everyone's running around thinking, all right, what's going on here? And again, apparently, and I give the kid credit, he came out and he got in front of it on a ATV sightseeing, right, in Cabo. It tilted, came down awkwardly, surgery on the hand. Now, remember now, too, the designated DR, I believe you're out 4 or so games, but he's not sure he's going to come back in a, quote, freak accident. This is like the last thing the Giants need, because you're coming off the bye. He's the Giants' defensive signal caller and the team captain. And so a couple ways we can go with this. The guy got out in front of it. I'm sure more details at the end of the day will come out. But, man, you had momentum, even though you lost to Seattle, 6-2 record. You got Houston, the Lions, Dallas, Washington coming up. I would say 3 out of 4 winnable games. Dallas, Thanksgiving could be a tough game, but a winnable game. And now your defensive captain, your signal caller, goes down. And Dayball came out and, sounded like, and rightfully so, I'm not happy about this, right? I mean, it's unfortunate. The way I read his comments, it's almost as though he's saying, hey, man, you can't be selfish when you're the team captain and your defensive signal caller. And now he's out, which means the Giants are going to be thin in that position, whether it's going to be Belton or Pinnock or maybe Landon Collins, I don't know. So that's a major, major loss for them, man.
Absolutely, I agree with it. Can you tell Xavier not to go have fun? No, you can't tell him that, but you also got to take a look deep into that 3rd or 4th page on your contract, the fine print that I believe says due to these events, we do not have a right to pay you due to these specific events if they were to happen, right? So I don't think he may have read that, or I don't think it may not even be in his contract, but who knows? But whatever's in the contract, the Giants do not have to pay him if he gets hurt by doing something like that, and can't fulfill his job to the New York Giants. So I don't know what's in his contract. I do know it hurts our football team. I do know we need him, and I don't know what the hell are we going to do about
it. Withhold pay based on his actions if he did violate the terms of his contract. And so I'm just pulling it up right now. He took full responsibility, quote, I wouldn't be surprised with it. I take full responsibility in what was going on. I'm an accountable person. So now, again, he's out. Houston, they're favored by 6.5. The Lions, who play a lot tougher. Dallas on Thanksgiving. And Washington, which turns into a very interesting game at this point. I would imagine maybe Julian Love's going to be the defensive captain. You know, he'll kind of work out the signals, or at least get him in, so to speak. Man, I'm not.
It's a tough situation. It's a difficult situation, man. But shit happens, and that happened, and that's something we got to deal with as fans of the game, fans of the Giants. It's something the Giants got to deal with as an organization. You know, upstairs, they got to try to figure out what it is they're going to do. McKinney has to figure out what's going on with his contract and what's in the language, whether they still pay him for these 4 weeks or 5 weeks, or how long he's out, like, who knows? But there's a lot of stuff got to be figured out. And I just wish it wouldn't happen, because even though we lost a game of Seattle last week in Seattle, which is extremely hard to go out there and win, I still think we're in good position to still get to that 12 game, area. So I'm trying to, it's something that we just got to figure out, and something that we can keep in stride.
Yeah, as you said, the devil's in the details, right? When it comes to those, the language in those contracts. Yeah. 10 gets you in the playoffs. I mean, it's just the way it's kind of broken down for them. And they had a couple teams that lost, which was good. Man, I'm watching Seattle. And I know we talk about Saquon as comeback player of the year. Geno Smith, man, they're a legit team. He's not making mistakes. He's playing well in the pocket. As you mentioned, that's a tough place. Right now, as it stands, you got Philly 8-0, Dallas 6-2, the Giants 6-2, Minnesota 7-1, and then you got Seattle 6-3, and then you got a bunch of 4 and 5 teams. I mean, the Bucks were a minute away from being cooked against the Rams, and the Rams played god-awful shit defense that last possession. That's your definition of prevent defense, right? And then Brady made him pay. The Packers will admit they're cooked right now, right? They're done. Right?
Cooked.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think I agree with you there. Finally,
they're cooked.
To the point where I agree with you.
All right, they're cooked. Get them out of here. They're cooked. So as it stands right now, here's the seedings, right, in the NFC. Philly 8-0, Minnesota, Captain Kirk 7-1, Dallas 6-2. And I don't want to get you upset, but there's rumblings that Jerry Jones is going to do whatever he can to try to get Odell. Giants 6-2, Seattle 6-3, San Fran 4-4, Tampa 4-5, Atlanta 4-5, Washington 4-5. The Giants are in good shape. Handle your business. Beat Houston, beat the Lions. You know, it'd be great if you can beat Dallas on Thanksgiving. If you don't, beat Washington, and now you're talking 9-3 after 12 games. You get to 10. 11 definitely gets you in. So there's work to be done. But that NFCB, I think it's wide open. I do.
I agree. It's wide open. There's a lot of things that can be had there. They just got to take advantage of it, come together and work. And
you think the Eagles are the best team right now in the NFC?
Absolutely, in the whole NFL.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo stubs their toe against the Jets, and Josh Allen, he's dealing with his elbow. So your Super Bowl pick right now hinges on his MRI.
Oh my God, it's real shaky right now. My Super Bowl picks is flimsy right now. I picked San Fran in the NFC. They broke. They're not flimsy. They just broke. And Buffalo is like, yeah, you're right there, like, ugh.
Listen, San Fran, here's the thing with San Francisco. I still think they're one of the most talented teams in the NFL. They just have to be healthy, like consistently healthy. So, I mean, they had the big win. They're coming off the bye. They have the Chargers, Arizona. That's another team. Done. New Orleans Saints. Sorry. The water pistol sucks. Do I need to see Andy Dalton anymore?
What do you call him?
Everyone calls him the red rifle. I call him the water pistol. He's horrible. He sucks. I've been calling him the water pistol for years. Yeah, he's not the red rifle. He's a pistol.
Oh, he's got a water pistol.
Yes. He's bad.
Oh my God.
So San Fran's gonna, he stinks. This guy, every time I turn around, is throwing a friggin' pick six.
And chasing somebody down, getting up off the ground, right? Every time you turn on the TV, he's chasing somebody down or getting up off the ground and they're celebrating. Like this guy, man.
It's bad, man. It's absolutely bad. And then you got the AFC, Kansas City, Buffalo. The Jets are playing well, man. I give them credit. Can we start to put Tua in the MVP conversation, though?
Yeah, because they play like shit when he's done, when he's out.
When he was
come
hurt.
back on like a totally different team.
Yep.
Totally different team. I think we can throw Tua in the MVP race.
So Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Tua. Who am I missing? You know, this might sound crazy. I would throw
Michael Parsons.
Yeah, you can stick him in the MVP race. Yeah. Definitely Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would give a little love to Geno too.
Absolutely. I agree there too.
I'm trying to think what other games stood out. Arizona, I don't know what they're going to do with Kyler Murray, man. That kid's immature, man. He's barking at the coach, barking and arguing with his teammates. Kid's probably going to be playing baseball in a year or two.
I think I agree with that.
He's just immature, right? And then every time like Call of Duty comes out, apparently like he doesn't want to read the playbook and play video games.
Yeah,
we need to know that ahead of time so we can put a little coin on some of these on some of these games. All right, real quick, because I know we'll do more of the games tomorrow. College football, the Big Four. We have I guess you can say a new Big Four in college. Georgia, OSU, Michigan, and then TCU sneaks in there. They jump. I think it's 3 spots right now. So this is what we got. Georgia took over the top spot in the college football playoff, top 25. They had a very nice win over Tennessee. TCU jumps 3 spots into number 4. They have a big game coming up against Texas. And then Ohio State, number 2. And rival Michigan land at number 3. My opinion, my money, I think Georgia's the best team in the country. I can't see who's beating them. I really can't.
What if they go to the SEC championship and stub their toe against LSU? Does LSU jump everybody from what they had 5 or 6? No, I'm sorry, 7, I think, and get in. Will will that happen? And will Georgia be out completely from 1 to out, or 1 to 3, or 1 to 4?
Well, if they
Ohio State, Michigan still has to play. With Tennessee sitting at 5, does Tennessee get back in the playoff race? What happens? It's going to be different because they can't keep. Well, they can't keep both of the Big Ten schools in it because they did it for Georgia and Alabama.
But LSU already has a loss. Didn't they use to Florida State?
LSU lost to Florida State. LSU.
Yeah, they have a loss.
They lost twice, but they're still sitting at what? They're sitting at what?
Actually, let me pull it up real quick. I think they're 7-1. No, they're
7-2.
7-2. They're first in the SEC West.
Yeah.
Who is that second loss? They lost to Tennessee. They got waxed by Tennessee, 40-13.
Yeah, like 40 something in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But They're sitting at what ranking though? Like where they sit?
Number 7. They're top 7th right now.
So they go beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. Do you think they put them in the top 4?
You're saying if
Yeah.
2 losses?
But you just beat the number 1 team in the conference championship game.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I don't like. I don't like the whole college.
And the other team you lost to is sitting at 5, waiting for Ohio State or Michigan to lose, so they can be jumped.
So they can
put
get
in the 4.
Yeah.
So do they take Georgia all the way out if they lose, or make them go from 1 to 4? What do they do?
I don't think you take Georgia out.
Okay, so you don't take Georgia out, but LSU just beat them in the
I
SEC
know.
championship game.
I
And
know.
you got Tennessee sitting at 5 with 1 loss to Georgia, waiting for one of the 3 teams to lose. Without having to defend any more ranking, right? They're sitting there out just waiting until this team lose.
So, okay, let's go on this. Let me jump for a second. What about Clemson? So Clemson got blown out, right? They dropped from 4 to 10. So
by your favorite team blew them out.
No, I can't stand Notre Dame. What are you talking about? So listen, good memory. So they got to win out. Let's just say they win out. Does that kind of cause a big wrinkle of everything? Because you're
where are they now? So where's Clemson sitting now?
They're number 10.
Yeah, they over. It's done. It's done. It's done. We getting ready to go to Clemson Saturday. They're playing Louisville.
What game did you go to this past weekend?
Georgia, Tennessee.
Georgia, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone beats Georgia.
Do listen. Just let me tell you a little bit about
LSU.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just the perks that I can get right now, and not because of me. I'm getting perks right now, and not because of me being Brandon Jacobs, but because of my fucking kid. And it is awesome to be able to get these perks because of my kid, not because of me. So I can go to all these different games for absolutely free, be wined and dined for absolutely free. It's phenomenal to have these through my kid, man. It's awesome.
So you got your kid got a very nice plug today on national radio on the Fan by one
Really?
T. Barber. But can I tell you the backstory?
Yeah, give me the backstory.
Because I wanted to text you.
I didn't see it.
So they were talking about Jeff Saturday, and they were trying to come up. They were like, well, what about, that's like if, and I think they said if Bart Scott coached the Jets, and then they didn't say Tiki. I think his co-host said, well, that's like calling up Brandon Jacobs, and Brandon Jacobs, great guy, great player. And then he goes, has all your records. And he was like, whoa. And they were like, no. He's got your touchdown record. And he's like, well, he came back after the year in San Francisco and he scored a couple. So
no, I had that before I left. That's bullshit. I only made it bigger when I got back.
Yes. So, but Tiki did say, he mentioned your son, and they're like, this kid is a beast. Like, he is a beast, and he like dwarfs you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that was a nice little pop dope. See, now you're on the other end of it right now, right? You have to take advantage of these. And how about the double double bonus over the weekend? High school squad.
Hey man, yeah, we won the region. We won the region, first time in school history. It's pretty awesome. So we got a number 1 seed going into the playoffs, and got a chance to actually go to the state championship. So
wow.
Boys got to go lay it on the line, man. It's the first time in school history that this has been like that. We had a home playoff game last year, so that was the first time in school history. But we're the number 1 seed, first time in school history, and region champ, first time in school history.
What county is that?
It's Fulton County.
Oh, okay.
It's Fulton County. So yeah, we play, single A ball. Really good football team, man. A bunch of young kids, mostly sophomores who got opportunity to go to do it.
That's wild, man. Congratulations on that. So you're getting the best of both worlds, right? You're getting the perks all over the place. What other perks are they giving you with this recruiting?
None yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
It's definitely a new day in recruiting. I'll tell you that much.
wow.
Yeah, none yet.
I mean, it's like I
It's
said,
coming.
what's that?
That's what that means.
It's what?
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
What you need to do is try to get your son an NIL deal.
Hmm.
Even though you went on the record and you said they have to play 1 year in college first.
I believe that.
I believe you said.
My son, when I pick a place to go to school, predicated on the NIL deal. Who can give him the most money? He's not doing that.
Where are you? No, I don't want to say pushing, but leaning him in one direction or another, or it's entirely up to him.
Well, as far as school
Yeah.
is concerned, no, I'm not leaning him anywhere. Totally his decision. My only thing is, we have to be close to him, or someone I know have to be close to him.
That's a fair enough point.
Right.
Yeah. What are the big ones that are looking at him right now?
Yeah, he hold offers from all of them, man. Like, he got Georgia, he got Tennessee, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Penn State, Kansas State,
Wow.
UCF. I mean, Minnesota. Like, you
All
name
the
it,
big boys.
Yeah, he got some he got some nice schools, man. And I'll tell you right now who all got, because he's this is 24/7 thing. So he got a lot of offers, man. He so Auburn, I mean, it's a lot of them.
So he's kind of got the pick of the litter.
Yeah, he can go where he want, man. Like, he got HBCUs, he got Grambling, he got Alabama State. Like, he got some pretty good ones, man.
Options are good.
Yeah, he got some pretty good ones, man. And he's a good kid, man. He's an awesome kid, man. Just great to be around him. Great, great to watch him grow. And he's gonna be one of those guys that's one of those, gentle giants, one of these big teddy bears that people look at and be like, God, he's huge, but he's the nicest guy in the world. There's always those big guys who's like the nicest guy ever, so that's the way he is, man. And my wife did a good job with him. I can't say I did a good job with him because I'm an asshole, so he's good. He's good. Now my youngest son is an asshole, so that's all me.
It's hereditary.
Yeah, he got that.
It doesn't skip generations.
Nah, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes they say we tend to get our father's interesting traits. We'll say, to say the least.
But my oldest son is all my wife though. He is like this kid that understands stuff. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, it's weird having it like this because he's like her. My oldest son's like her. My youngest son is just like me. So it's crazy. Like, both of the kids are like a split of both. Like, it's crazy the way it is.
Yeah. Different. Well, I mean, that's makes it work, right? When you have different personalities and stuff like that. But no, that's pretty cool. So your game, the high school game is Friday?
The high school game is Friday, and we'll get in a car on Saturday, driving to Clemson, South Carolina. Go to that game, watch them play Louisville.
How far is that drive?
2.5 hours. Not bad.
Yeah. That's not a bad little drive. Tomorrow we'll get in a little boxing. Nothing, there's a lot of, I don't want to say fluff going on right now. You got a stat card over in the UK, some bettable fights, but we saw Bivol over Ramirez. He might be right now. You can argue, you might say fighter of the year. I don't know. And nothing yet with these other fights potentially
No, but you got Benavidez and Caleb Plant getting ready to square off at it. I think Benavidez is gonna stop him.
Yeah,
he'll stop him.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm hoping calendar year though, man, they get some good stuff. I mean, and you're probably excited because in another 2 weeks, your boy's fighting Fury. So We'll probably
he's
spend
not. Yeah, he's knocking somebody out. What's his name?
Chisora, Derek
Yeah,
Chisora.
sorry. Yeah, yeah, he's gonna knock him out. That's gonna be a little cake. Well, I want to see him with Wilder again. That's the only time I'm gonna be iffy on Tyson Fury winning is if he fight Wilder. No one else is gonna be, and no one else is gonna be Wilder. Those are the two best heavyweights in the world.
I'm just looking at some of these fights. Progress is fighting Zapata. That's coming up. Yeah, I mean, I got to prepare myself. It'll be 45 minutes of, Fury. I hope he gets knocked out.
He's not gonna get knocked out, Rich. You gotta be shitting me. Who's gonna knock him out? It's not happening, man.
I know it's not. I can wish in one hand, shit in the other, and tell me which one gets full first.
That's not happening, man. You know that.
He's going to fight Wilder again. Come on.
I think that's a good fight. I think him and Wilder makes for a good fight, man. I really do.
By the way, tomorrow we got to get in a little more NBA, man, because I think I called it. It might be Q Adamas instead of Notre Dame. Lakers are about to just sell off and just trade away players left and right.
So I don't think so.
You might get your wish. Westbrook might get traded.
Westbrook to I don't know. I don't know where he goes.
Oh, listen, they stay.
Let him go to Milwaukee.
All right. With the big G, as I like to say, Giannis.
Giannis.
9-1.
Kyrie, man? Let's talk a little bit about Kyrie Irving, man. How much time we got left?
We only got like 2 minutes. We can do. You want to do Curry? Who'd you say, Curry or Kyrie?
Kyrie.
Oh, we can do Kyrie tomorrow.
That's fine. We need to talk about it, though.
Yeah, we can do NBA. I thought you meant Curry.
We could talk about it a little bit, and I'm trying not to get our show canceled, but we're gonna talk about it.
On that note, look at that. It looks like he's got to look like he's getting ready to get the rock on the goal line.
Man, it's just BS, man. That's all.
Hey, listen, and calling a guy who was friggin' working in TV to become a head coach was BS too. There's a lot of BS going around.
Right, but only some BS is getting criticized stuff. So
look at you, just sipping on a spicy margarita.
That's a nice little mango drink in my high school cup, man. High school cup. You know, they're making these Yetis look any kind of way now. So
that's what they do.
Pretty cool. And I got my high school number.
46.
Yeah, I was 46 in high school.
All right.
Ugliest number known to man. Killing people every Friday night. And number 46. I can't believe you let a guy wearing number 46 run for 350 yards on your defense. That's crazy. He's wearing 46. He's the guy that the colleges have redshirted, and they just find a jersey to give him. Like, that's 46, like 38, like 43, like that.
That is an ugly number, man. That is an ugly number. But I don't think they're going to remember if you're rumbling for 300 plus, right?
Oh, yeah.
On a Friday night. So, all right, we will start wrapping it up tomorrow. We will do it again. As always, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You got the pod out there as well with all the audio, Spotify, Apple. Follow us on social media. I still think that's a spicy margarita, but I'll leave it alone.
It's not. It's just a little mango drink, man. It's like the Arizona mango. It's what it is in there. Just pour it in with some ice.
Probably sprinkle a little vodka.
Oh, I'll let you know it was a mango. It was a spicy margarita, my brother. I love them.
I know you do.
You know, I love them. I had one today for lunch. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna hold no punches, man.
There you go, liquid diet. That's probably. Did you take your afternoon nap?
Did
you take your afternoon nap?
I didn't today. I didn't have a chance to do it, man. Yeah, I didn't do it, man. I should have did it though. I didn't.
Yeah, I hear it. That'll be on the agenda tomorrow.
My naps are made for Sundays, man.
I hear you.
When the games are on, and it's like
sleep. I hear you.
When the Giants have got this ugly offense going, And they win, and you don't know. I want to wake up at like the start of the fourth quarter where like right there, and then they win it in the end.
Yeah. It's when you hear the phone go bloop, 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 and those are
Boo,
my
boo, boo, boo.
Texas.
There's Rich. Here's Rich. Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me? How could he do that? Like, wow, the officials is so bad today. Wow. Like, I'm like, well, Rich is at it again today.
All right. So with the big man, as always, number 27, two-time Super Bowl champ, Brandon Jacobs. Great running back for the New York Football Giants. Rich Quinones here. Appreciate everyone keeping us locked in 27 in Q. As always, we will see you guys tomorrow. Big man, always appreciate you. We'll talk then.
Always, man, and everybody, respect thy neighbor. Good humanities. Love you all. Peace.
All right. Everyone have a good night.